Years ago, I was invited to go watch a band called Iron Maiden. And I knew of the band, but I didn't know what to expect when I went to that concert. I saw the kids at high school, or junior high, walking around with Iron Maiden t-shirts, and I'm like, man, it's a very popular band. It's definitely not Buddy Holly, but anyway, I went up there to RPI Fieldhouse in Troy, New York, to watch this spectacle unfold. I had been to many concerts at the Chance in Poughkeepsie before. That's where I'd go see the bands like Overkill, or I even saw Ace Frehley and Peter Criss do a Christmas special there one year. It was pretty cool. UPAC, I really enjoyed watching the bands at the bars in Woodstock, New York. I love the intimate bar band scene. It's usually a lot more fun than the arena shows. However, nobody puts on a show like Iron Maiden. Well, I guess you can compare that to Rammstein today has a pretty killer show. Anyway, go up to RPI Fieldhouse. I watched Frehley's Comet do their set and became an immediate fan. I did realize that Ace Frehley used to play in Kiss. Not a very big Kiss fan. They're hell of a marketing team, though. I mean, everywhere is Kiss merchandise or Kiss t-shirts or Kiss dolls. And they are the masters of marketing. Anyway, I'm not really into Kiss, but I enjoyed the Ace Frehley set. So their set finishes, and the guys come out and strip that stage, and about 25 minutes later, the house lights go down, and immediately, you know something was different. It is a trick of most headlining acts for their engineer to decrease the volume of the opening acts. They decrease the volume so that when the headlining act comes out and they push that fader up and they get all that volume, it delivers better. This is the headliner. Wow, everything's much louder. In this case, that was true. Iron Maiden was a hell of a lot louder than Ace Frehley, or Frehley's Comet. So I have the set list here. This is from January 11th, 1987. So I've been listening to Iron Maiden for a lot of years. I'm not going to do the math. You can do the math. So, RPI Fieldhouse, Troy, New York. I'm going to read you the set list. Caught Somewhere in Time, 2 Minutes to Midnight, Children of the Damned, Stranger in a Strange Land, Wasted Years, Rime of the Ancient Mariner, and then you have to have your guitar solo, right? Phantom of the Opera, another killer song. That blew me away, that song, on that evening. Hallowed Be Thy Name, Iron Maiden. Of course, they had to play Number of the Beast and Run to the Hills. They are Iron Maiden classics, and they seem to always end their set with Running Free. I remember a lot about that night. And that period of time, they did not have the moving intelligent lights like we have now, where everything's like moving and focusing and all that stuff. They had primitive automation systems where there's basically, the rigger guy behind the stage with they call them pickles, which is what makes the chain motors go up and down. Anyway, they had this, they were like triangle shaped truss light system, triangle shaped lights on a truss. And during the period where Rime of the Ancient Mariner was playing, there's a spoken section in the middle. And as they're playing like the vamping music in that song, and Bruce is reading a part of the book that song is based on, they had the sound effects of the hull of the ship creaking, and they had the smoke going across the stage and all these different lighting effects. And anyway, they bring these lighting trusses in like this, and they're folding, and the sound of the ship is creaking, and it's really loud. It had to be 105 decibels or something like that. It was a very, very loud show, but it sounded great. That scared the crap out of me when that happened. I thought everything was going to fall apart because, it's my first huge production. I've never seen anything like that until that day. Anyway, that impressed me. It was that moment that I decided that's what I want to do with my life when I get older. I want to do something that makes me part of that magic. Even though it's only 2 hours of entertainment, there's probably 14 hours prior, from the time the buses get in there and the trucks go to the dock. There's 14 hours of setup and teching and fixing and sound checks and setting up guitars and tweaking this and setting up the pyro. It's a 14-hour day. Easy 14-hour day. So, yeah, I wanted to be a part of that, and it took me a while to find out how to do that. I could have went about it a different way, but I ended up doing that. I did some audio stuff, and now I drive entertainer coaches, and I love it. I enjoy what I do. I'm good at it, and I enjoy what I do. In those days, a t-shirt at a concert was like $15, not 50 or 60 like they are today. A t-shirt only costs like $3.50 to print, and if you're buying truckloads of them at a time, the merch on some of these tours, they're like selling truckloads of t-shirts and hoodies and hats and lighters and whatever else, truckloads per day. As a matter of fact, I had a rapper named Logic on my bus a couple years ago when I was driving at a different company, and he set records for merch sales. The one in particular I remember was at Red Rocks in Colorado. He set a record for merch sales at that venue when we went through. This was 2017, I think it was. Anyway, I wish those merch prices were back, but we're never going to see $25 ticket sales. We're never going to see $15 t-shirts again. We're also never going to be able to go to the store. In our area, there is a department store called Hess. And you'd go to the catalog counter in the back of the store, and that's where you'd get your tickets via Ticketmaster. We thought in those days that $25 or $35 for a ticket to go see a rock band was expensive, but boy, we didn't know what we were in store for when we got older. Can't complain about it though, because everything has gotten much more expensive. Production costs out here are so much more than they were back in the 80s and 90s. The technology's there. You basically have to be an IT person to operate a lot of this gear because it's all networked. There are some bands that do use tracks, background vocals or sound effects, because you just can't do a lot of these things live unless you do use tracks. But that's not the primary reason for networking everything. It's just easier to run a Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable from the backstage to the front house instead of these giant snakes like they used to. It's all digital now. It's very cool stuff. But yeah, you have to be a smart one to do it these days. Anyway, thank you for visiting and watching. I'm going to delve more into the whole Iron Maiden thing, because even though that encouraged my career choices later in life, it also encouraged me to research religion. on the Power Slave album, they were singing about Osiris. I wanted to know who that guy was. And then on later albums, like you had Moonchild, and you had Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. I wanted to know what they were singing about, so that encouraged me to go sit in the library, read about religion and gods. And I'm not complaining. It was very cool stuff that I've learned. Anyway, until the next time, thank you. Bye.